rolling over the sands. You can see spice in the air.
All right, now that you got your spice melange in there, you're gonna make sure you also add your garlic powder and your onion powder. You don't skimp on your spices, especially the spice melange when you're doing chicken. You're gonna mash it down really good. Remember, you want all the spice to penetrate the meat. You want them blue eyes that let you see between time and space? Use the spice. You want your family at the dinner table chanting at you, Lisa Al Gaib? You want to be able to crip walk and pimp walk across the deserts of Arrakis like Paul Atreides? I'm going to tell you one more time, you use that spice. I'm going to get my spice mix in there. We're going to air fry this chicken. Till then, enjoy the video, like and subscribe.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Will and welcome back to another quick review here on the channel. I am giving my thoughts on Dune Part 2. This is directed by Denis Villeneuve and stars Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Austin Butler, Javier Bardem, Stellan Skarsgård, Josh Brolin,
2 hours later,
Dave Bautista, Christopher Walken, Florence Pugh. Oh, I'm forgetting so many people. There's so many people in this cast. I think those are the main players. Yes. This is, of course, the sequel or part 2 of Dune that came out in 2021. The continuation of the epic story of House Atreides and House Harkonnen's war for the control of Arrakis, aka Dune, because I'm not the biggest Dune fan, so I'm not as informed on the lore of the story. I never read the books. Sorry. I read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. That was like my favorite book growing up. There you go. This is going to be non-spoiler, so I'm not going to spoil anything about the movie. It's just going to be my general thoughts on it, like all quick reviews that I do on this channel are. If you have not seen the movie yet, I highly do recommend checking out Dune Part 2. It would behoove you to do yourself a favor and watch Dune Part 1. Obviously, because this is a continuation of that story. It's hard to say it's like a sequel because it technically is, but it's also just the extension of part 1. So it's not really a sequel. It's just the second part of this long story. If this is your first time checking out one of my videos, hi, my name is Will. I do geeky stuff on the internet. I do reviews and reactions, discussions, some gaming, some drinking, a whole bunch of stuff on this channel. I just like to have fun and I hope you do as well. If this happens to be your bag and you're interested in hearing from a geeky bear like myself, please subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it. Just a little quick behind the scenes. the 3 days prior to me actually seeing this movie today, which is a Sunday by the way, have not been the greatest 3 days. So this is a nice movie to check out. It's very well done. It's very impressive of a cinematic achievement of a movie. So just be nice in the comments is all I can say. Again, I'm not an expert when it comes on Dune. That whole shebang and bang, and just be nice in the comments if you would please. Thanks. So Dune Part 2 is the continuation of the first part of Dune, where we saw House Atreides take control of the planet Arrakis, which is home to the Spice L'Orange.
You're wrong.
Again, I'm going to screw up a whole bunch of stuff, so apologies. But they were obliterated and attacked by House Harkonnen, who were the previous stewards of the planet at the behest of the Emperor, but not the Emperor getting involved in their assassination. And that left Paul Atreides, the son of the late Duke of House Atreides, and his mother, the Lady Jessica, to try to fend for themselves in the deserts of Arrakis, while partnering with the Fremen, who are the native people of the planet and are able to integrate themselves into Fremen culture in order to A, survive, and B, coordinate a rise up Fremen to reclaim the planet for themselves and to get revenge for what House Harkonnen did to House Atreides. This is probably the most true to form attempt of the movie. Again, my past knowledge of Dune is very sparse. I watched the recap of the first movie because I didn't have time to go watch the movie again before seeing the sequel. So there you go. That's your little peek behind the curtain of my honesty to all you wonderful people out here. I really liked the movie. I thought the movie was incredible to watch from like a visual standpoint and a sound standpoint. It was awesome. The sound design in the movie was fantastic. Everybody gave impressive performances throughout this movie. Timothy Chalamet, who plays Paul Atreides, is obviously the main lead of this movie, but Zendaya has a much bigger role in this than she did in the first movie. She was more so just like a vision, a figure, but in this movie she is much more of a main player when it comes to her relationship with Paul. And I like how the movie really does give you time to get established in their relationship and to really understand the bond that they form through, I'm assuming, months of them living together and teaching Paul their ways. But I really like their relationship in the movie. I got invested in their relationship in the movie. Where this movie ends, I feel like is a better cliffhanger than the first movie. That's just a personal opinion. I thought the first movie cliffhanger felt like it should have ended like 20 minutes prior to that. But I really like where this movie leaves off. But there, obviously this ends in a certain spot where it leaves more open to whatever the future holds for these characters, especially who makes it out of this movie. The villains, House Harkonnen, led by Stellan Skarsgård, Emperor or Duke, Baron, really cool prosthetics. We actually get to see the Harkonnen homeworld, which is a complete visual 180 from what we got with most of the time that we spent on Arrakis. It's a very monochromatic black and white world. It is a gorgeous movie, hands down. Like the way it's shot, the location, the scenery, the choice of color, the costume design, it is a feast for the visual eye. Also, because the last movie I saw in theater was Madam Web, and I'm not trying to kick a dead horse, but you can tell the difference between a script that is very much paint by numbers, not great dialogue, to a script that is very well scripted, very well crafted, allows for people to be people and to show real emotions and be complex and have depth that you don't see all the time. So when I see a movie like this, where I get invested and I get absorbed into this world through not only just what is said, but what is unsaid, it's really entertaining to watch. It's a really good movie. That's the easiest thing I can say about it. It's easy to say everyone does an immaculate job. Even for a lot of the newcomers like Florence Pugh, who plays the Emperor's daughter, she carries like every scene that she's in. Austin Butler's, I think his name was Fayard Harkonnen. He gave a darker version of Paul Atreides' character because they had very similar arcs from Austin Butler's character in this movie goes through that Paul Atreides went through in the first movie. They're very much like mirrored, but obviously a more negative or darker tone compared to like what Paul goes through now. And he goes through a lot of trials and trying to avoid his destiny, where it's like impossible. It's like, is destiny just written? Can you change it? But it's very much a path that he walks in this movie. The way people respond to the legend, how he commands the scenes. I like Rebecca Ferguson's, her performance in this movie a lot as well. And like I said, Zendaya really carries a ton of scenes that she's in. It's really well done. Dialogue is great. Writing is fantastic in this movie. The action in it, even the brief moments of levity and humor, they work well. Javier Bardem is funny in this movie. Like, I don't know if he's intentionally trying to do it, but it is that type of humor that I like, where it's subtle and it's kind of quirky, but also dry. No pun intended with the desert. But it's just, everybody does a really fucking good job in this movie. And I had such a good time watching it. And it honestly got me super invested in checking out the third one when that comes out. Like, this could go down as like a superb movie trilogy. Humble opinions here. But yeah, you feel for the characters in this. I mean, you feel for the desires for revenge and the desires to bring justice to the people that they lost in the first movie. I definitely did, I want to say I kind of enjoyed it more than the first movie. The first movie definitely does a lot to set up the characters to get to this point where you really get to see them more in a different environment than you saw them in the first movie, especially with Paul and Lady Jessica. But while I enjoyed the first movie for what it was, I wasn't as informed or had any prior knowledge going into it. So I liked it, But I think I haven't watched that review in a while, but I think I said this felt like it was setting up for a much more interesting sequel. This is the interesting sequel to me. So I really did like Dune Part 2. I definitely recommend checking it out. I mean, obviously, go see it, form your own opinions on it. If you're a fan of the books or you grew up with the books and you've read them and you've, ingrained yourself in that world, I feel like this movie does a fantastic job in conveying that. Granted, let me know what you think of it in the comments below, especially if you have the prior knowledge or you've seen the previous movies and stuff like that. I know the previous movies, from my understanding, didn't necessarily follow the books. So I'd love to hear what people with this one, and how that translates on screen, and if it did it justice. I'm curious for those things in the comments. As someone who doesn't have the prior knowledge and kind of went into this fresh, or just my knowledge of the first movie. Dune Part 2 was amazing. It was great. It was a really awesome movie. The action in the movie was actually really well done. The fight choreography was great. Visual effects were actually stunning. I can just sit here and praise the movie all day if I really want. I didn't really see any negative. I mean, it's a long movie, probably like 2 hours, 45 minutes. But yeah, I guess if you don't have a lot of prior knowledge or you maybe never read the books, some things that came up, I'm like, cool. I have no idea who that person is. I'm assuming that's that other person in a future point. But yay, cool. That's going to do it for this review for Dune Part 2. Let me know any thoughts that you have on the movie in the comments down below. Try to keep it spoiler free, as this video is meant to be spoiler free. Let me know what you think in the comments. So that is going to do it for this review of Dune Part 2. Thank you so much for checking out this and all of my videos. I really do appreciate it. I've got some other videos on the docket that I'm looking forward to. Some other movies that are coming out that I'm excited to see. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to keep notified when any of those videos drop. You can follow me at a lot of different social media platforms listed at the end of this video. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And as always, until next time, let's be kind to one another. Let's lift each other up, and I will catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you did like this video, why not give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends? You can subscribe to the channel by clicking on my gorgeous little face right over there. You can follow me on all the various social media platforms right below. And last but certainly not least, if you've got a few extra minutes, why not check out one of the lovely videos floating right over here. Later.